Now we're here, we're looking at new portable range for the consumer. Earlier this year, if you look at our website, we've reviewed business, portables and workstation. Now this completes the lineup with a consumer line, and Paul again is going to go through with what's new with this range.
Sure. So we start with our entry-level devices in a 2-in-1 or convertible style form factor. So we've had our 10-inch device has been totally redeveloped with a brand new 2-in-1 magnetic hinge, which not only enables all 4 display modes, but is a great spot to stow the keyboard when not in use. And of course, this sees the introduction of our partnership with Bang and Olufsen with B&O Play in this particular unit. So this is a school-ready wireless AC device, cherry trail processor, IPS panel. We've also got the benefit of B&O front-firing stereo speakers in the device that starts at $549 with that little detachable.
So for $549, what type of audio do end users get?
So for $549, they're certainly going to get much better sound than we've had on an HP device at this price point before. And by having front-firing stereo speakers, it helps to widen the soundstage and provide a much more enriched or a much more immersive audio experience than we've had on this style of device before. Keep in mind, these are USB Type-C for charging, so you get 12 hours of battery socket-free.
Type-C for charging. So how many ports do we have on the unit?
So one Type-C port for charging only, and then you've also got a full-size USB port. You've also got a micro HDMI.
So we're not restricted just to the Type-C. We have the normal USB on there as well.
Of course, and also a standard headphone jack.
Is that a new standard for HP? You're going to go with Type-C on everything? Or?
It won't be on everything, but it'll certainly be on devices which benefit from the smaller port size that Type-C allows. So you'll certainly start to see that on more.
This one was called. This is a 10-inch cherry trail with basic Bang and Olufsen.
Correct, in the form of B&O Play, and this is the HP Pavilion 10X2.
10X2.
The big brother of that is the HP X360 in the Pavilion. So again, you get the heritage of B&O speakers here, which whilst they are located on the bottom, they are angled so they can provide and bounce sound off the desk towards the user, and in tablet mode are then becoming front-firing in stereo. So you get the same benefits of an IPS panel. You get this micro-geared hinge, which is far stronger than all the friction hinges, so the customer will certainly get a lot of rotations out of this device. Much thinner, much lighter, and with this sort of synchronous orbit that this hinge wraps around in, you'll notice that as the hinge flips open, it really hugs the device, and so its overall Z height in its thickness is no different where it's in a tablet versus its clamshell form factor. So really easy to hold for a user, especially if this is going to a school student. Really simple to hold, nice large bezels, place your hands on with that good IPS panel as well.
Processing platform in this one?
Processor, this will have a whole bunch depending on price.
Right.
The top end will be a Core M with an SSD, and then we'll have some mid-range dual core as well as a quad-core Pentium with mechanical hard drives.
So this is basically, in terms of, this is more of a sort of entry-level type, because you said the Core M is the top of the stack.
Correct. So this is towards your $799 price.
So these are more very ultra-portable things that are for like students and people who need something very light.
Someone who values the portability but needs a little bit more power than what the cherry trail processor can give them. We've got that in a Core M or even a dual-core Celeron or quad-core Pentium processor. But you've got the benefit of that locked-in, that micro-geared hinge. Good size display. It's a touch larger. It's at 11-inch, 11.6 versus the 10.1. So you are getting that better size display for that type of user, although resolution does maintain the same at HD. Then you go through the range into our Pavilion, and this is arguably one of our best-selling devices. Now this has had a bit of a reinvention, so it's going to come in a number of colours: silver, reds, blues, pinks, everything in between. But on the inside we've made a few changes. We've gone again to Bang & Olufsen with our audio partner. This keyboard is laser etched, so it's nicely cut, really well manufactured. And you've got this black to silver fade out, which you might not see in the sun there, but we've also changed the colour of the keys to charcoal, which helps with the contrast versus the black to silver fade out. We found the black keys looked a little odd, so by going to charcoal, really nice contrast in the lettering and looks the same. And this will maintain the same inside look no matter what the colour. So your colour choice is only on the exterior.
So it looks very similar to the previous Pavilion. So what's the key?
The big difference versus the old Pavilion, of course, we've gone to B&O for our speaker brand. They are about 20% thinner and lighter, so they are shaving off about 200 grams in weight to bring it closer to that 2 kilo mark versus about that 2.2 kilo. As far as the I/O, all your inputs and outputs remain very similar. Of course, full-size USB ports, full-size Ethernet, and full-size HDMI. This one
charges normally.
Correct, standard HP 65.
Earlier during the presentation, you told us about you have two standards of B&O, and we went through these very portables, and you said these have the basic B&O.
Basic B&O. So you're getting basic audio processing software. You're getting, I believe it's only 7 or 8 bands within an EQ, as opposed to say 16 band and EQ, so a little less user adjustment. You'll also find that the output throughout the headphone jack is slightly better on the Bang and Olufsen branded
You mentioned an audio processor. Does this basic Pavilion 15 have the...
Correct. So everything that carries the B&O name has the audio processor separated in its own audio island.
So what is it? So for our more tech and knowledgeable readers, what do you define as an audio processor from HP?
So I don't have the full specs on the processor we're using, or the amperage it outputs, or the voltage it outputs, or even the brand who makes it. It's in-house construction. So that's about as much info as we have at the moment. We can certainly provide that to you users afterwards.
The way I would interpret such a product is you have an amplifier rather than a processor. Can you elaborate whether you mean...
Yeah, not at this stage. We're still waiting on more information. These products already started to come through, so the information from...
I think that's something we can look at and tell our users about, because...
Certainly.
Yeah. The processing platform on that one?
So this will have both Intel or AMD. It's up to our customer.
Generations of both?
5th gen for Intel and the varying processors for AMD.
So in the varying, you're not sure if it was Carrizo 6th gen?
Oh, did we 6? The prefix is 6th gen, so for AMD that is.
Okay.
Yeah, but current 5th gen for Intel. But we'll be transitioning. So
5th gen quad core is available on that one?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. We then move up to our NV15. So when you move up to an NV15, you get a few changes. Number one, you go for the aluminium skin, so it's an aluminium top cover, and you also get aluminium on the inside. As we sort of mentioned before.
So NV15 is an upgrade of a Pavilion with more premium...
Correct. So you have generally higher spec options, but you also have higher screen res. Touch becomes ubiquitous across the range. You also get that slightly nice look interior being aluminium. You're also getting the quad Bang & Olufsen speakers in this particular unit.
Quad, so the quad 4, no subwoofer.
So this one here doesn't have a sub, but we will have a model with a sub in at the bottom.
Yep.
And we will have a 17-inch version of this to come as well, with a slightly new look.
So we see the GeForce logo. What type of graphics is that?
So this will run a GTX series graphics card.
Is it configurable, so you don't have a particular one?
We don't have a set one. We can have this up to like a GTX 950, but we can also have the older 8 series stuff in there as well. It's up to our retail partners.
Is there more gaming-oriented versions of this available?
You can use it for gaming. We see this more of a premium segment, so someone who requires a lot more power out of their PC. Maybe they're running more demanding applications, whether it be photo editing, video editing, and also some light gaming as well. This will use the proper quad-core Intel processors as well, so you will get a much more powerful machine in this particular spec, but we do have some AMD versions as well.
Yeah.
This also uses our unique lift hinge, so the cover, the A cover actually wraps around the spine of the notebook, so as you lift the hinge up, what happens is that props the base of the device up, and the bottom of all HP devices is always an intake, so it really helps with airflow, the ergonomics of the keyboard.
These bigger ones don't have the Type-C?
Don't have the Type-C, no, not yet. I mean, Type-C is certainly something we'll be having on our full-size notebooks, but at this stage, look, our customers have a lot of legacy ports, and due to cost constraints and the design, this is kept with the standard power brick 90-watt adapter.
90 watts. Thank you, Paul.